Hello everybody, welcome to the United Front. This is your Manchester United transfer news. I was about to say brother, Brian. Sorry, not Ben Broma. He's already been announced. Benjamin Sesko to Manchester United. Here we go. Finally. Really not surprised. We thought it'd probably be yesterday. Otherwise, it'd probably be tomorrow because of Sesko's agreement, and obviously it's now official. Obviously by David Ornstein by saying 76 million euros agreed by Leipzig, and he's on the plane currently flying to Manchester, so I think he'll probably arrive till tomorrow. But obviously huge news, obviously great to have a here we go, and we obviously got our striker, so it's great to see. What do I think about the player? Let's talk about the player. I'm pretty sure I did cover up from previous. If not, then I'll say it. So obviously we do know he's very quick. Height, 6'5", bloody hell. Running in behind, obviously a pole shine as well. Look, I think the only problem is that he's young. The amount of fans that are gonna come and demand from him, I feel like that should be unfair because, if we send the lap, I feel like that would have been a problem as well because, you get United fans demanding stuff that isn't realistic because, they'll probably expect Sesko to score 20 goals. But judging by our last 5 seasons at least, or I don't remember, we haven't even had a striker that scored 20 goals. Probably the last time we had a striker that probably scored more than 15, was close to that, was Ronaldo. At 37, so, I want to talk about one thing. So, I've seen this video about comparing, stats, shot conversion, minutes per goal, goals, assists, and all sorts. And I was thinking to myself, well, what is the point of this video? Because you got obviously Sesko, and in comparison to Xerxes and HOJLUND, and they will say, oh, Sesko has a high shot conversion. Why do you think so? Clearly because he's in a different league compared to where HOJLUND and Xerxes are right now. And don't forget, we were doing the same thing with HOJLUND as well. Comparing other strikers like Martial or whoever's at the club at the time, Rashford, Garnacho, and people say, oh, HOJLUND's got a high conversion rate, and that means, it shows he's clinical. 2 years after, stats have decreased, but that's what happens when you join Manchester United and you get limited service. Now, I'm not hoping that Sesko gets, when he comes and joins United, he becomes a flop. No, I don't hope that. I hope, it is a new United, he gets the service, and obviously he's full of confidence. But again, if people want to talk about, he's got a good conversion rate, HOJLUND did before he joined United, and look where he is now. Now, I'm not hoping that happens with Sesko, but you never know, it could happen, deja vu, So, look, obviously, as I was trying to say, Sesko's shot conversion is 19.1%, whereas HOJLUND's was 16.7%, so it's not really far out, but again, that's what I'm trying to say. There's no point comparing, Sesko to HOJLUND and Xerxes in terms of, he's very clinical in front of goal. That and it is great. HOJLUND was like that, and look where he is now. Now, if you wanted a comparison, which made sense, if we were looking at Ollie Watkins and we were comparing stats, that makes sense because he's doing it in a league that he's gonna, if he joined us, he's still gonna be in the same league. He's a clinical finisher. We know what his game is about. He's in the league, and we know it's not a tough thing for him. That kind of makes sense, but bringing someone from a different league in the Bundesliga to someone who's going to adapt into this new league is different. Now, that's where the question is, will he replicate these stats? Maybe not, but hopefully it could be better than he was at Leipzig, and that's what we aim to do at United because we're signing Cunha, we're signing Mbeumo, and hopefully they hope him into, becoming a top striker for us, And look, my realism for at least Sesko, how many goals do I expect? Look, at least more than I mean, minimum 13 goals. Because look, Rasmus did it in his first season. And I'm talking about all competitions. So, at least 13 goals. Minimum, at least. I'll take it. But, look, he needs time. He's in a new league. And look, this was the same with HOJLUND. He came in, had so much pressure, had a price tag that was on him. This is going to have on Sesko. And look, this is where it gives the right prats, the media, an opportunity to take advantage of this. So all we have to do as United fans is back him all the way. Unless you're a prat that doesn't give him a chance, back him all the way. That's all you have to do, and hopefully he'll be a great player for us in the future. But apart from that, I mean, really excited, and yeah, here we go. That's about it. Let's get on to the show more. Baleba, insane price. I mean, am I really surprised? Nope, because I've said this before. When if you admire a striker, and I mean, not a striker. If you admire a player, you look at what he can bring. You look at who is he playing for, and you look at, are they good at selling, or are they really good at, doing shit business. You look at Baleba, probably one of the best upcoming midfielders in the Premier League, plays for Brighton. When you hear that name Brighton, you know they're the best selling club in the league, without a shadow of a doubt. And obviously, like I said, they obviously I'm starting. They obviously won £104 million, which is obviously pretty much a lot, but it's not a surprise because it is a lot. Now I've been thinking to myself, it really isn't a surprise because he wanted, look, 104 million. Now I wasn't really surprised because I knew this was gonna go 85 million, 90 as a minimum. So, but obviously slapping 100 million. Now I do really want to say this. He's a great player and everything, but 100 million, especially on someone who's talented but could be a risk at the same time. And look, where are we gonna get the money from? Because don't forget about PSR or whatever, but where are you gonna get the money from? Unless you make outgoings and you sell Bruno, that's the only way you're doing it. Otherwise, I don't see us getting Baleba. I mean, I was shocked to hear we even got money for Sesko. There was a reason why Arsenal even pulled out of that, and it was almost like even if we had a chance, how would we even afford it? So, I mean, again, this goes with Baleba. How do we afford him? Is the question, but no, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is unrealistic to see how we can get a player like him who's worth 100 million. Now, for those people that were saying, "Oh, I wouldn't spend 80 million on Sesko," I give you that same question. Would you want to spend 104 million on Baleba? I don't think I want to, because what I think is, spend that money if you're willing to go for a lot of money. Go for a midfielder and goalkeeper. Now, we could go with Morton Himwood and then go for Donnarumma, who apparently is valued at 30 million euros. So, and obviously has 1 year on his contract. In Himwood, I think he has 70, 80 million release clause. So if you're willing to go that above, you could get two positions. But I mean, that's the question. Do Manchester United still want to be in the race and, still feel that they have a chance for Baleba? Now, obviously, Brighton did say they wanted to keep it for at least one season, but obviously United's approach for Baleba was kind of like a breaking news. But obviously, look, I understand people were excited, but it wasn't like an exciting where out of nowhere here we go. I mean, we knew it was going to be hard. It wasn't going to be easy. And a price like that, it would take a while. So, but, I mean, look, Brighton did say we want to keep him, but if you want him, take him for 104 million. So, I said my piece. I think he's a great player, but if you're willing to go that much, look for other options, And look, if Baleba doesn't work, at least have a backup plan. And look for another target. And look, if Baleba doesn't work, at least you were looking at that target and you pursue for that. So, but if I was United, and obviously I knew this, look, I never said I wanted Baleba. Look, it'll be great, but I knew they were going to ask for a lot. So, for that, I mean, I wouldn't really take Baleba because of the price. Otherwise, talent, quality, skill, and everything is great, but again, price is just it's gonna be tough. So, if we're willing to go for two positions, why not spend that money on both positions? So, but anyway, Garnacho to Chelsea. So obviously, as you guys know, Ben Jacobs has obviously said, United have stepped up for Garnacho. Yeah. So as you guys know, United wanted 50 million from Chelsea. Now obviously Chelsea feel like they can just mug us off and try feel like what, we're not paying that, we want to go low. So what, and then what, I feel like to myself, what, if you guys can sell Madueke for 50 million when he ain't even worth a notebook, and put Jackson at the same price as Ekatike, then what, Garnacho's worth that. This Garnacho valuation that we have of him, it's realistic. That's his price. It isn't delusion. Because we're not only are we bad at overpaying for players that are not worth that, but we're shit at selling. But as soon as we get a player that's worth that much, from a certain club, we don't want to pay for that. Well, if they're not willing to pay for that, you can fuck off then. It's that serious. It's that simple, because we got a player that's worth that much, and someone that has high value to himself. If you don't want to take it, then don't. Garnacho has to deal with it, because, I mean, again, I've said this again, Madueke was not worth 50 million, but they still somehow sold him. So if that's the case, Garnacho is worth 50 million. Take it or leave it. So, that came from Ben Jacobs. Apparently it was 60 million in January, but obviously they lowered it to 50. So, but apart from that, I feel like having a player that's worth that, but then Chelsea telling us we're trying to go lower. I mean, no. I mean, you can do it to Arsenal, because somehow they felt like buying 50 million from Madueke was a great deal. No, you actually got robbed. I'd rather pay Ronaldo for that money. At least that's worth it. But Madueke, I mean, come on. As soon as bro plays on the left wing, people overhype him, say, "Oh, he's great." I mean, piss off. Honestly, he's not even worth a notebook. So, let alone 50 million. And Garnacho, who's worth that much. Again, I say it, take it or leave it. But knowing Chelsea, they're a hard club, and they feel like they can scam us. But no. And look, I just want to say one thing as well. Even if they get Garnacho, it's a huge upgrade on Madueke anyway, because he is better than Madueke. It's not delusion, it's facts. It's just Chelsea fans hyping him up for no reason, buying him from PSV, and people think he's all that when he's not. So, look, check the stats. You look at the stats, so you feel like Madueke is worth that? No, he isn't. So, but that's on the news on Garnacho. And last but not least, HOJLUND. So, look, so apparently there were, obviously we got from Sesko, but apparently that means that HOJLUND might be looking to move. Now, I'm thinking to myself, well, that shouldn't be the case, because when we bring a new striker in, why does that mean that one has to go? No, we need two strikers at least. There's a thing called squad depth, because what if Sesko gets an injury? Not saying he's not, look, he's got a good injury record, but you never know in football, you can get an injury like that. You need someone to back it up. So you can have HOJLUND, because Xerxes isn't really a number 9. I still put him in the 10, and Cheeto's still young. So who's that leave out? Rasmus. So I feel that would be stupid, but then again, like, United could do something to get money and whatever, and obviously they value that 40 million. I know people are gonna say he's not worth that, but then again, you can only talk unless you're a Chelsea fan, because you're valuing Jackson at 80 million when he's worse than Højlund. So, like, please. But no, I feel like selling him will be a mistake because you need that squad depth. And look, I know people are gonna say I have sympathy for him, but I want him to do well. I want him to do well. That he becomes a number 2, but when he comes on, he makes an impact. Because I still feel like we can still get a good player in Rasmus. And I did say this before. If there's one player that can develop a player into someone world class, like Gyökeres, Amrin's the man, and he can do it. And Amrin does like Højlund, but look, I mean, he did say he doesn't want to leave, but you never know. Players' minds change, so but I hopefully he doesn't leave, because that means we're gonna have to look at hang on a minute. Sesko's already relaxed. Oh my god, that was bloody quick. So yeah, apparently Sesko's arrived in the UK. Yeah, I probably thought he'd come at least tomorrow or whatever. But anyway, yeah, surely papers and medical will be on Friday anyway. But yeah, so actually this is coming from Fabrizio. So yeah, so actually this is coming right now. So United are set to discuss with Rasmus Højlund about his future. Milan, AC Milan, possible opportunity with initial loan with a heavy loan fee and salary covered. Højlund insists on staying at United, not scared by competition. Look, and like I said, he wants to stay. And look, AC Milan, you either buy him or you piss off. There's no point with a loan, because if we loan someone, we're just gonna deplete our squad. And when we need someone to back up Sesko and we don't have Højlund, then who's coming next? It's not gonna be Cheeto, again young. Xerxes isn't really a number 9. So look, I hope he does stay. He did say he wants to stay. He's not scared of competition, which is good, because again, if you want to prove yourself, do it against someone like Sesko, who is one of the biggest talents. And don't forget, at a time you were one of those talents as well. Obviously, coming to United, it does change for you drastically. But hopefully, you get some redemption. Look, I hope he does have a good season, because I do like Højlund. I think there's a player in him. In his first season, at one point was the top scorer in the Champions League. No one ever thought of that, and was the youngest ever player to score 7 goals in 6 consecutive games. So, look, the problem is service, and this relates to Sesko as well. People saying, "Oh, he's tall, he's this, he's that." Weghorst was bloody 6'4". We didn't even put crosses into the box, and people are gonna say, "Oh, he's 6'5", he's athletic. Oh, he can jump high so much." Yeah, he can jump high, but he needs bloody crosses. There's no point, doing having someone that's athletically good, aerial ability and everything, and not giving service. There's no point. So it's the same with Rasmus. I mean, how many times I say, people say, "Oh, he gets so angry because he's clear on goal," but then somehow people want to be, the hero moment, and try go for the glory themselves, And of course, why would it not piss off someone? You don't think Sesko will be mad? It's not even Sesko or Højlund. It will be every other striker. So, look, hopefully this season, service and creating chances will be a huge thing for us, because that's why we got Cunha and Bomo, and at them as a front three, it can help Rasmus and both Sesko into scoring goals. So, but as we do know, that I don't think he's gonna leave United, because look, I don't think he should, because look, again, I said squad depth and he's a good backup striker, So look, he's not scared of competition, and hopefully that motivates him into becoming a better player, because you got Sesko, who is, yet to look. He is the number one. Obviously the fee that we paid. So, but hopefully that signing of Sesko motivates, Højlund into becoming a better player. Because you do need that. You need someone to compete with you. Look, he was the only striker of the club, in his first season. Martial was injured, so I would even say, we had two strikers. Then obviously it was next season where it was Xerxes. Now Xerxes wasn't really a number 9, so it was almost like he was playing as a 10. So again, Rasmus was playing as a number 9. Now he's got Sesko, who is a number 9. He's got competition. So if he does play bad, he knows that he's under pressure, So he needs to perform well to start, which is really the point. But anyway, is there any news? No, apart from Sesko flying in already. Don't know how quick that jet is. That's about it. Levi Cole's got AC injury. Well, I need to change my FPL team. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Tomorrow will be a preview for the Fiorentina game. Great to see the hair back. My GOAT. Take care and see you in the next one.